Where will the road take us? Who knows? But we're going to find out pretty soon, because this is the OSMcast. Welcome back to the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Douglas.
And that's us. And yeah, we're back. We're no longer all deathly ill.
Yeah.
That we were. We had plans. We had dreams. They were all crushed. But they're not over. They're not over one bit. The ideas, the plans we had for episodes are still going to happen, just not right now. They're going to happen in the future, but they're going to be cool, they're going to be awesome, and ostensibly about Japanese cartoon shows. But, so please look forward to it once we get there.
Yeah, we kind of got to reset the counter.
We do have to reset the counter, but it's one of those things where there was literally no one who could step up. Like, You were definitely ill, you could not talk. I was definitely ill, I could not talk. Perhaps once, Doug and Barry got back in from Japan, but they also could not talk.
Yeah, I was fine for 2 days after I got back from Japan. Then it just hit me there was a moment where I was worried that I had somehow contracted Ebola. Because I had been on an international flight coming in to the country right at the peak of the Ebola scare. But then I Googled the symptoms for Ebola and realized that I didn't have Ebola.
The important thing to remember is more people have been married to Kim Kardashian than Americans have contracted Ebola.
Yeah.
And that first one is much worse.
No, Ebola's pretty bad if you do get it. It's just, you're not likely to get it.
It's also, well, if you're in a developed country with legitimately good medical care and they catch it, you actually have a pretty good chance of surviving in the U.S.
Yes. I think Japan actually has even less cases than America has.
It's just,
I'm not sure on that, but I think that's true at the time that I am saying this.
Keeping yourself hydrated is step one in not dying, for one.
Yeah.
But, anyways, I don't know. People are crazy about Ebola. I can't go a day without seeing it at the top of my Facebook trending news. So, yeah, you guys should chill out.
It's all good. You should just kick back, get a nice frothy beverage of your choice, whether it's soda, tea, beer, wine, sake, whatever. Chill out and listen to a podcast.
Hopefully our podcast.
Like the OSMcast, that you can find at OSMcast.com. It's our website. You can check out our Index of Awesome. You can check out all our previous episodes. Ostensibly, usually we'll do this opening segment, then our Moments of Awesome, and possibly some other minor segments, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll go to a main segment. Well, normally it's like some sort of review or discussion about a specific topic. And you can find all those specific topics in the Index of Awesome. Now this one, we have no specific topic because we've been sick for like a month. And we decided we need to do something to just get back into the groove of recording these episodes.
Just get rolling. Just get talking about awesome stuff again.
And that's what we're going to do. We solicited many questions from podcasters and listeners and people like you who are listening and also giving us questions via Twitter. Actually, specifically my Twitter, It's Basil Time. At It's Basil Time. You can find Kevin on Twitter at Twitless_Kevin. You can find Doug. Well, you're not going to be able to find Doug because you're not a terrible corporation.
And if you are, you have already found me.
Because Doug found you.
That's right.
You can also find the OSMcast at OSMcast, which we mostly use to announce when the episodes go up. But we also have a Tumblr and a Facebook that gets used more or less often that I really should, use more. But whatever. Who cares? You're listening now. That's all that really matters. Of course, you may plug us into your podcast catcher of choice. We are sadly, again, still not listed on iTunes. It's really dumb of iTunes, but whatever. Apple's full of dumb decisions. I mean, am I right? Or bendable phones, something.
Maybe we're not on there because we keep calling them stupid.
But we only started calling them stupid because they wouldn't put us on there.
No, I'm fairly sure that the reason that they're not listing us is because it's either because we don't have sponsors, so we don't appear to be part of a corporate machine, or we don't have anybody who is specifically famous by their standards. Like Chris Hardwick is not on our podcast.
Now, pretty much anyone can get on the iTunes store.
You sure?
Yes.
I'm not so
We
sure.
used to be on the iTunes store for like years.
Yeah, we used to.
And all the other podcasts I listen to are on there that are just like the Chains of Buffet's on there.
Oh, how's the Chains of Buffet on there and we're not on there?
I'm pretty sure there was a time where the website was going down a lot.
Oh.
I had to buy new hosting to fix that. And even though I resubmitted our RSS feed after I fixed it, for some reason they still haven't reinstated us.
Huh. And
there's no like email or form I can fill out to say, hey, please look us over again. Why haven't you looked us over yet? Because, you know, I've submitted it, they don't for some reason think I've submitted it. I don't get it. But, whatever. So there you go. But you can find us. I mean, you can add us. And we actually have instructions, step by step, on the website, so you can add us to iTunes, if you so choose. Like, I'm fine with it. I would love to be on iTunes officially. That way we can actually get reviews. However, we are on Stitcher. And you can give us reviews on Stitcher. They're cool. They're smart. They're wonderful people who let us host our own files and they'll link to them. That's nice of them. Because in the end, all the stuff that they're linking and they're creating is all based off of stuff off our website. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, iTunes does no actual work. Stitcher does no actual work. Other than they're taking our RSS feed and regurgitating it so that you can click and keep on it. So anyways, there you go. That's how you can find us. You can please send us comments on the actual webpage. Every post has its own comment section. You may send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com or send us messages on Twitter, Facebook, what have you. It's cool. We will see them. Anyways, now on to Final Fantasy Realm Reborn 14-minute thing. Yes, go. Spooky Final Fantasy.
There is an event going on now that is, what is this event called? It's the Hallows...
It's the, oh, wait, I got that.
It's the Halloween event.
It's the Halloween event, but it is in fact called the All Saints Wake.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
The Continental Circuit plans a peculiar parade.
Well, let's see. So basically the event boils down to this. You go to each of the major cities. You start in Grindia, then you go to Limsa Lominsa, and then you end up in Ul'dah. In Grindia and in Limsa Lominsa, you have to do some running around quest where you get transformed into
a spooky creature.
Yes, including the leader of the city. There's a wide array of things that you can get transformed into, so if you don't like what you're initially transformed into, you can just click the thing at the top of your screen and go away, and you'll go back to your regular appearance, and they will re-transform you if you ask them to.
This has created some pretty great GIFs and GIFs.
Yeah. It has?
Yeah, I saw one that was all the Admiral from Limsa Lominsa, all doing like the ballroom dance.
Oh.
All the different stages, so it's going up and down, looking very regal and presentable, but it was like a bunch of her all at once. It was pretty great. But the whole idea is that supposedly there's this parade, there's this circus that is trying to encourage all the spooky fun, but it's actually supposed to be really spooky because they're actually monsters. But are they really? And who's this weird pumpkin person behind the scenes? I really like making this spooky voice, and it's starting to annoy Douglas.
Well, by the time you get to Ul'dah, there's another runaround quest in Ul'dah, but mainly there is an event. There's a fate that pops in the city, and you run down the main street of Ul'dah, and you try to spam suspecting crowd goers who come out to watch the parade of heroes. The first 2 days, that parade was huge. There was just like a grotesque amount of people on the screen at any one time. Like, you could move around and you would realize that there were so many people crowded into that area all at once that I think the servers themselves could not physically load everybody. So you could only see people in a relatively short span that were right around you. So it was easy to lose people in that crowd. And it also made it really hard to pick out the targets that you were supposed to hit versus the targets that you're not supposed to hit.
Yeah, it did make it hard.
Because, there's the grounding target that you are supposed to hit, and then the ones you're not supposed to. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they'll spawn right next to each other, and with that many people standing around, it was almost impossible to actually target the right one and get a gold earning on the fate. Mm-hmm. But I did it today, and I was easily able to get gold. So it may have been worth it if you have waited now that the rush is over to go in and get it done, but it's still a lot of fun, and I really recommend people who are playing join in. You only have to be level 15 to get involved on all the action, so you might as well.
And of course, if we are on Leviathan, it's a primal server, and if you decide to hop on, let us know. We can make sure we can get the 14 free trial. We can also decide if you want to hop in for reals. Let us know, because while you're still in the new adventurers period, we can generate a code, and if you put in the code, you get free stuff and we get free stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a friend of ours, Jeff, just recently started playing. Have you given him a code? Because you should totally give him a code. If he's still,
I don't know if we have yet.
If he's still technically a new adventurer.
Yeah, he's a new adventurer.
Like, if he still has that little plant thing on by his name.
He does.
He can still put in the code. I will show you when we're done with the podcast to get that code.
Okay.
That way, because you get, like, a helm that gives you, like, a big experience bonus until, like, level 25. Mm-hmm. And if he joins, like, past, you also get a pendant that lets you teleport to him at any point while he's still in new adventurer status. Mm-hmm. So if he needs help on something, you can immediately show up and help him. Yep. And then if he stays for 9 days, you get a 2-seater chocobo.
Well, I know he's joined for a substantial period of time because he was able to join the free company. Right. I remember we had somebody else who wasn't able to join.
That was our friend Null. He was just using the 14-day trial.
Oh, okay.
Well, as long as you pay for the game, you can join.
Yeah, okay.
Like, once you pay for the game, you've paid for the game. But there is that. So that is something that you can do, that you're more than welcome to do. And pretty soon, it may be worth it, because in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk more when it actually hits, but we're looking forward towards the Dreams of Ice patch. Patch 2.4, which means they're adding Shiva, they're adding a brand new class and job, they're adding more to the Coil of Bahamut, they're doing all sorts of extra stuff. We get to fight Ultros.
Yes, crazy, I'm looking forward to that.
And Chupan from the Coliseum. Like, there's neat stuff. And even more than that, we're going to be seeing pretty soon in the spring, Heaven's Ward, which is the expansion. We're going into Kurthus, and new zones, new actual level capped to 60, new classes, and a new race, and all new stuff. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really exciting.
Like, 14 is the best MMO. I don't care what else you play. You're wrong. You should be playing 14, and you should be playing 14 with us. In fact, like, Doug, since this might have been a moment of awesome type thing, but because it's still 14 related, let's ring it in now. You actually got to go to the Eorzea Cafe.
Yes, while I was in Japan, I actually went to the Eorzea Cafe. Okay, here's how the system works. I need to start off with the system, because if you don't speak Japanese very well, like, I don't. Like, I speak it well enough to listen to anime. I don't really speak it well enough to have entire conversations with actual Japanese people. So it was very critical that I at least had some idea of what do.
Right.
Okay, you need to get there early in the morning. The Orzi Cafe is located on the second floor of this hotel that's in Akihabara. I can't remember what the hotel is called. I want to say the Paradiso, but I'm not 100% on that. But anyhow, it is located on the second floor of this hotel, and this hotel has several other cafes located on its second floor too. Like, while we were waiting, we noticed there was a cafe that we assumed must be full of, like, handsome Bishonen waiters or something, because there were only girls in, like, floofy skirts going in. And then I think there's another one that was just in, like, a normal maid, not a normal maid cafe, but some sort of themed cafe, because it just had otaku-looking kind of guys going into it. And then the one that had the biggest mix of people going in was the Eorzea Cafe. So you have to get there early in the morning, and they assign you a table number. You know, I think we're table 30, because I think we actually got there a little bit late. I think they only have a set number of special exception tables. Like, I think they have just a number of tables that they can seat you at. And then I think they save, like, one or two tables for an exception, but again, it's only, like, one or two.
Right.
Because the cafe itself is actually pretty tiny. All in total, I think there were only about 30 tables. Maybe even less. But in that tiny little area, they just paid so much attention to detail to every little thing. The only thing that they didn't really pay much attention to was kind of the roof, which was just done in, like, a black, obviously trying to cover this whole space, but everything down to the nails that were in the, like, they had rectangular shape, old style nails keeping the wall up. You know, they made it look very much like a tavern that you would expect to find in Eorzea. If I spoke Japanese, I've heard that the waiters presented, you know, the ordering as though you were setting out on a quest. But since I didn't speak Japanese, I didn't get to enjoy that aspect of it. But the menu was really extravagant. I'm a little sad that we didn't take a menu, that we didn't keep a menu. But the menu was so well done. And what then actually happens is once you, when we lined up to come into the cafe, we were given the menu to look at even before we went in. And when we got in, the waitress actually handed us a sheet to mark down how much of every item we wanted. Again, Barry and I had a little bit of difficulty because we can't read Japanese.
Right.
Like, I can read hiragana, but I can't read katakana or any kanji. Aside from T, like...
Right.
Like, T is, like, one of, like, the 6 kanji I know, and that's not really enough to get around.
Right.
But we were able to piece together, based off the prices and where everything was on the menu compared to where it was on this little sheet, we were able to order. And we got everything right. They actually had a really friendly waiter who came by and helped us out. And so we then put in our order. We put in our order, and after we put in our order, we were welcome to walk around and take pictures of the area. They had all these little Moogle statues hanging around. And then when the food came, oh, let me go back to the menu. Sorry.
Go for it. Go, take your time. It's cool.
Let me go back to the menu. Okay, the menu was arranged in sections. Like, there was a section for menu items that were based off character classes. There was a section for menu items that were based off of the primals. There was a section that was based off of the actual culinarian menu that's in the game.
Nice.
So me and Barry went through and we picked out about 7 items between the two of us. We decided that we were going to completely splurge, like this would be our meal for the day.
Right.
So we knew we were ordering a lot, but we're actually kind of surprised that she didn't look at us that alarmed when we ordered that much food. They brought it out in stages.
Mm-hmm.
But in the menu of everywhere we ate in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
it was very common for them to make a English menu.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the English menu was more like an abridged version of the regular menu.
Right.
But this menu was a full-on menu, and every dish had flavor text, like, beyond just saying what it was.
Right.
It would talk about, you know, how this primal was slain.
Nice.
So I am telling you, that it was an extreme level of detail in the menu, in the wall decorations, and then when the actual food came.
Mm-hmm.
One of the alcoholic drinks I ordered was the white mage drink, because, you know, I'm a white mage. And oh my god, it was so pretty. It was so pretty. They actually brought it to you in 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
You were supposed to pour one part in to mix the potion right there.
Nice.
And then they took away, like, after you mixed it, like, you poured it in, you mixed it, and they took away the extra bottle, and you could drink the remaining. Let's see. The stew they had, even if you don't play Final Fantasy XIV, based off this beef stew alone, which is off the culinarian menu,
Mm-hmm.
I would still recommend going to this cafe.
Really?
The food was really, really good. Like, it was delicious. You know, Barry had a Moogle pastry that was shaped like a little Moogle.
Of course.
It had a little raspberry pom-pom.
Excellent.
You know, one of the other drinks I ordered was the King Mog Victory Punch. And it was in a carved out pineapple. And it had boba tea, it had boba tea bubbles in it.
Did it taste like victory?
Yes. It did. It was amazing. While we did not have them, they did also have Mantragora biscuits hanging around. You know, they were biscuits that looked like little Mantragoras.
Cute.
Yeah. It was really cute. And they also had computers hanging around. Usually when you log into Final Fantasy XIV from anywhere else, you have to change your password.
Oh, here you didn't?
You didn't have to if you
Nice.
logged in from the OSMcast.
Nice!
They thought of that. But they really only had like 3 computers. But given how much detail was in every little thing all
Right.
around, I can kind of see why there weren't, like, people did pretty much what I did, which is, at one point, I noticed one of the computers was empty, so I went in, logged on, talked to my free company and my link shells about, haha, I'm in the Eorzea Cafe right now, and
Right.
they just brought out more food to my table, I'm gonna go. That's pretty much what everybody did. Let's see.
They have Kentucky Fried Chocobo.
I did not notice Kentucky Fried Chocobo on the menu. Yeah, but what I thought was interesting is it didn't work like a cafe that I'm used to, where you go and you sit down and you order, you get fed, you pay your bill, and you leave. Part of the reason that they have such scheduled seating and why I say to go early in the morning and make your appointment for that day is because they schedule it in blocks. I think that's also part of why they only have 3 computers, because it's going to be the same group of people.
Right.
For our block was scheduled for about 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I say 2.5 hours. Me and Barry actually ended up leaving a little bit early, so I don't know when and how they kick you out.
Right.
But I do get the feeling that it's sort of like a time limit thing. You go, and now you can just sit there for the whole period of time. I think it was actually 3 hours for the dinner time slot.
But no, that's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool. So I highly recommend if you play Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy VII, if you play Final Fantasy XIV, and you are in Japan, you absolutely need to go to Akihabara and go to the Eorzea Cafe. If you just like themed cafes, this is a really good themed cafe, just in general.
And if you do play Final Fantasy VII, you should probably still go to this cafe. It's got Moogles and Chocobos and, well, maybe Chocobos, but definitely Moogles. And I've heard about Cactars or, like green Cactar juice, I've heard.
I didn't see that.
But yeah, you should totally go. And yes.
Oh, and one of the other things, as we were leaving, they gave us a gift. Now, I don't know if they're going to give everybody a gift when they leave. Well, I'm pretty sure they give everybody a gift when they left while you were there, but I don't know if they will continue to do that indefinitely, is what I'm saying. I don't know if they'll continue to do that indefinitely, and I don't know if the gift will be the same, but they gave us coasters. And they gave us one for every menu item we ordered. So I said we ordered 7 items. Mm-hmm. We ended up with 7 coasters. And each coaster has a picture of one of the primals from in the game. And the reason this is significant is because at the time when we went, in an English-speaking language, like I'm sure we could have found this out if we were actively on the internet at that time, but at the time that we were eating there, Shiva had not actually been announced yet.
But she was in the cafe as a coaster. Yeah,
so I think if you have the ability to go regularly, you could probably go there and get some up-and-coming information. That
they may or may not know, but it might end up being in the cafe somewhere. Somehow, anyways. And this has been your Final Fantasy XIV Reborn Minute! And there's not really been new Dragon Quest news lately. So, oh well. That's okay. We've got plenty of other things to do. We got plenty more things to talk about.
Oh, I guess I can add something to the Dragon Quest Minute.
Dragon Quest Minute!
Dragon Quest is really popular in Japan.
How popular is it?
Okay, it's so popular that when I went, one of the things, I said, what do you want, Basil? And you said, Dragon Quest stuff.
Right.
Well, some of the first Dragon Quest stuff I saw, I was not actually able to get you. Because it was only for people who had rewards points at a convenience store that I went into. So I tried, but I didn't have the...
Right.
I didn't have the frequent customer points to buy it with, so... But that's how popular it was. Randomly walking... if you were just randomly walking down the street in Tokyo, in Shinjuku particularly, if you saw a place that had Lupin the Third or random Dragon Quest stuff in the windows and it wasn't a video game store, it was pachinko.
That makes sense.
So it's definitely something that I think is probably a part of more or less everyday Japanese life. It's really popular. So it's even more of a shame that we don't have it here. Like, as I was going through Japan and I was street passing people, so many people that I was street passing on the 3DS were playing Dragon Quest X. It really made me want to play Dragon Quest X.
I agree, except I have a feeling that we're getting probably an actual better MMO out of 14.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Quest X is an MMO.
Yeah, it is.
But supposedly Dragon Quest 11 is actually going to be an actual console game, so
hopefully
we'll see how that goes.
Maybe we'll get it. Maybe.
But until then, we'll just have to tide ourselves over with Dragon Quest Minutes! And with that, we'll be right back. This is the OSMcast. And once more, we're back with the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. Speaking of awesomes, moments of awesome.
It's a moment of awesome.
Peggle 2. has come to the PlayStation 4. That's right, Xbox One owners. Suck it. You no longer have the superior console because Peggle 2 is on PS4.
What's Peggle 2?
Amazement. Also a little bit like Pachinko.
Oh.
Like, what if Peggle is one of those casual games, I say with air quotes, which you can also do as an emote in Final Fantasy XIV Reborn. Your characters will actually do air quotes. It's really cute.
Yeah.
It is, again, well, it's sort of a casual game. It's sort of a puzzle game. It used to be like a PC game. I'm not sure why they decided to release the new version just on consoles so far, but the idea is that you can aim it's sort of set up like a pachinko board, where there is, your ball comes from the top. There's a bunch of pegs, and there's a bottom that's a pit. And the idea is that the pegs will disappear as you hit them. And there are certain colored pegs that you're supposed to hit. And if you hit all the pegs, you win the level. And so it's a fun little puzzle game. But you actually do get to aim the ball. Like, down at what angle you want to shoot the ball. So there is a little bit of game of skill in there. It's not just purely chance like Pachinko. But one of the neat things about it was that once you have like 7 or 8 balls to win the level, and certain things you can do can earn you extra balls. Like there's a little bucket that goes from side to side. If you get the ball in the bucket, you get a free ball. If you earn so many points, you get a free ball. So, and as long as you can win the stage, with spare balls to spare, you win, and it plays Ode to Joy. It suddenly feels really good, where it's da 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 da. It's like it's it's and so it was just it was one of those games that was simple to play but fun and really rewarding on how because whenever you hit the pegs sounded good. Yeah. Bright, flashy colors, and they would also each set of levels had its own like mascot character. Like the first set was Bjorn the unicorn, and there were certain pegs that gave you powers based. Like the Bjorn gave you the ability to see where your ball will hit next. Like it gave you a super guide where it would show you where it's going to smack the ball and what angle it'll veer off on to make it easier. Another character would like turn to a fireball and would just burn through all the pegs. Each guy had its own special power.
Yeah.
And then they also did one called Peggle Nights, which is sort of variations on Peggle. And then for many years, there were no other Peggle game. Until last year when the Xbox One came out, they released Peggle 2 as an exclusive game. And now it's on PS4. I've been playing it, really enjoying it. I'm a Peggle addict. I love the thing. I like to call it my, surrogate for Pachinko. But I probably like a little bit more than Pachinko because you can actually win. But this new one, it does a really neat thing where now they've really, really reinforced the musical reinforcement.
Yes. Where
now everything sort of sounds in sync with the music. And as you lose, like it starts with one like part of the song, as you play through the game, it sort of backs out into a different variation of the song, into another variation when you're low on balls or when you're low on pegs. And then you'll get this, like, it'll be this really quiet moment when it's trying to get to the last peg, and then it hits it, and then depending on the master that you've got, it now plays a different old tune. Like it may play Ode to Joy, or the Overture, or various other things. And it's really fun. Like, I enjoy the mess out of Peggle, and Peggle 2 does all the neat things I like out of Peggle, but the music stuff, it's a notch above.
Nice.
And it's one of those things where I actually really enjoy playing it just to see how, the sounds and the music interacts with the actual experience of playing it. Like, they obviously took the ideas of what made Peggle neat and interesting and good, and really ramped it up for the sequel, as sequels are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so I really, really enjoying Peggle 2, because I'm still playing it. Like, because once you go through all the masters, and there's like 4 or 5 of them, they give you then a series of challenges where you can pick your master. There are also 2 other masters that I think came from previous Peggle games that you can buy and download as DLC, which I don't mind too much. I'll probably buy those after I finish my current set of Peggle challenges. It was like, I don't know, $8-10, I think. So, and I'm getting that money's worth out of it.
Nice.
For sure. And another game I'm getting fun out of that I'm not really spending money on at all is Terra Battle. And Terra Battle is the latest game from Hironobu Sakaguchi, creator of Final Fantasy, for Android and iOS. And it is ostensibly one of those games where, you know, it's a stamina-based game where you have so much stamina, and every time you play the game, it knocks down your stamina. You have to wait after you run out of stamina till your stamina refills, and you collect characters like that are somewhat randomized. You get like clickable cards. You know, in Japan, it's more of a gachapon style system where it's, you know, you plug in your quarter and who knows what you get out of it.
Ostensibly, would you say it's a good game?
Yes. Now, and one of the reasons why is because even though you can spend money on it, you don't really need to. Like, the game starts off giving you a couple of the like, there's regular characters and then special characters. And there's like a wide range of, like, he's got a bunch of manga artists and other creators who have donated, you know, or sold or what have you.
So ostensibly, would you say you could use whatever character, you could show your own tastes?
Yeah, like, it gives you a bunch of different characters you can have a chance to win. And the idea is that you get 2, and then they give you 2 generic guys. And you've got coins, and you've got energy. And you can spend money on either. And coins are easier to combat energy. But energy gives you the chance to win the better class characters. Like, coins, you collect easier, but you're going to get more generic characters out of those. They work. They do the job. But the special characters are, of course, better. They're higher class. Yeah. You know.
So ostensibly, the better characters are going to be with energy.
Right. And that said, you still get a little bit of energy every day.
Right.
And the more, and you also get bonuses for logging in every day, and every time you log in consecutively every day.
So ostensibly, it's going to play a little bit like Farmville?
A little bit. But the actual battle system is an actual RPG battle system.
Okay.
Where everything's on a grid. Think of it like a chessboard.
Right.
Or like Battleship. And you've got your guys are different squares, and the enemies are on squares, and you have to flank every enemy on their sides. And everything is sorted up as swords, spears, or bows, or magic to the side. And, like, I believe swords beat bows, bows beat spears, spears beats bows, or swords.
Okay, so
it's rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, there's ostensibly a rock, paper, scissors in it.
So any play, and it's been described a lot. It plays a lot like Fire Emblem. And so the whole idea is that you are supposed to, you know, flank your guys, and say if you've got a spear guy and you flank him with 2 bow guys, you can deal a lot of damage because you've got 2 weakness strong against its weakness. Now, if, like, say I've got 2 guys on a line, right, and they're flanked, and I have another guy on the far right, but it's on that same line, because it's near each other, he adds bonuses to the guys who are flanking. And if there's other people near him, you know, and him in a line, that'll add another bonus. So the more, you know, things you could connect into straight lines to your flankers, you deal more damage. It's a really fun RPG that just happens to be a cell phone game.
Yeah, so, you know, ostensibly it's a little bit like a Facebook game, but it's also ostensibly a little bit like the classic RPG games.
I would say nowadays it's actually transcended the Facebook game onto its own class of mobile game.
Would you say that ostensibly?
I would ostensibly, possibly literally, perhaps even figuratively saying it.
Because you said a lot of things ostensibly.
I started saying lots of things ostensibly once you really started saying ostensibly a lot.
No, I started ostensibly.
I said it
saying
twice.
Ostensibly.
I said it twice.
Well, ostensibly, would you say
times.
this argument is essentially pointless? Ostensibly.
Yes, it's
Now, don't get hyperbolic on me.
You said it 3 times before I started doing it.
So ostensibly, there's this download starter. What they're doing is, unlike a Kickstarter, they are doing a download starter. Where the idea is the more times people download it, the more they're adding to the game. Ostensibly.
That's right. Ruin the meaning of that word.
That's
like
right.
South Park did with Per Se.
So per se, anyways,
Hey,
for example,
ostensibly, you remember when you asked if we ostensibly needed any more drinks, and I ostensibly said no?
ostensibly, we'll have to wait till the segment's over.
Okay, fine.
Ostensibly has lost all meaning.
So anyways, there's this download starter. And the more times people download it, the more free stuff they add into the game.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is they get more people to download it, then therefore more people may spend money on it, because you can if you want to.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. But if you want to, it's there. Which means that some people will. And for example, like a lot of the music's been done by Nobuo Uematsu. He's doing more music. They've added characters from other creators. They are working on a cooperative mode. They're actually nearing 1 million downloads. And if they hit 1 million downloads, they're going to do a live concert. They're going to actually do extra like battle animations. They're going to start doing a versus battle mode. They're going to eventually introduce Hironobu Sakaguchi as his own boss. As bearded Sakaguchi boss. They're going to add in more music. And eventually, if they can crack 2 million downloads, they're going to work on a console version. That'll be its own game entirely. Another neat thing about the game is the storyline is all in text, but they obviously are portraying the text like they portrayed the text in the poems and short stories you read from Lost Odyssey. So it does the really neat like movement of all the text, and it sort of creates its own little tapestry. And they don't really give you characters; it's more mood pieces, where like the characters are talking, but there's no actual like names to them. They're just your party are talking about what they're trying to do, which they're trying to meet the Maker, but the Maker has forsaken the land and they don't know where to go to get the Maker.
That's Sakaguchi. I'm calling it now.
It could be. But anyways, that's Terra Battle. Kevin, your go.
There's nothing awesome in the world today.
But there are things awesome. Now tell me one of them.
Okay. Yeah, you're okay. You're twisting my arm. Legend of Korra game.
Legend of Korra game?
Legend of Korra game.
I didn't know Legend of Korra had a game.
It does. Actually, it's got another one coming next week for 3DS as well. That's supposed to be an RPG, but I don't care much for the maker of it, so we'll see how that turns out. But that doesn't matter just yet. What matters is on consoles and PC, I'm pretty sure also, we've got a Legend of Korra game from Platinum Games, creator of Bayonetta, Vanquish, and
Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101, and a few other games under the name of Clover Studios back in the day working with Capcom, including God Hand and Okami. But Korra it's only $14.99. It's a download-only budget title. So that being said, it's an amazing $14.99 downloadable budget title. Like most Platinum games, you don't really understand how insane it is, so you try to play it on harder difficulties. But
Right.
like most Platinum games, you want to replay it. I played through the whole thing yesterday. Just because, well, this morning. Because it came out yesterday, at least when we're recording this from.
Right.
And it's a relatively simple game in that, it's pretty much Korra and bad guys. It's ostensibly set, damn it! Ostensibly again. How much did that pepper our dialogue? But it's set between seasons 2 and 3.
Ostensibly, it peppers it a lot.
Yes. It's set
Apparently.
between seasons 2 and 3 of the TV show. With Korra, well, without explaining it too much, Korra kind of loses her bending powers and kind of has to build them back up again. So giving you a system, for buying new moves and abilities. And you know, fire, earth, air, water.
Ostensibly she loses those powers an awful lot.
She does. There's a reason, and it mostly makes sense within context of the setting. It
happened in the show. It's happening as the game mechanic.
Well, I need to give you a reason to build up your powers. And to be fair,
it did happen in the
when
show.
you just, you finally get, you first get water bending back, and it's like, oh, I can pelt people with water. That's swell. But as the game goes on, you get to build it up. It's like, ha ha ha, walls of ice are destroying my foes. It does build as you level up the powers and buy powers from the spirit shop run by good old Uncle Eero from the spirit world.
That actually reminds me of being a black mage in Final Fantasy XIV.
They'll sell you stuff from the spirit world. But it works basically like Rodan from Bayonetta. He sells you one-use items and talismans that give you permanent effects, sometimes with a negative effect to go with it.
Right.
And you can buy new moves. And it does play a lot like Bayonetta. Once it gets going. Mm-hmm. And the different air bending and water bending are both more range styles, although they all can work ranged or close. But water bending and air bending are more ranged. Earth bending's really slow and powerful close range. Fire bending is really fast close range mostly. All more mobile. I haven't quite worked out in my brain how air does seem more. Actually, air is really overpowered. It's the last one you get, and I thought air was just amazing for just wrecking huge groups of enemies. But it gets as you power it up, the attacks get crazier. It goes from gust of wind to swirling vortexes of death pretty quickly. But and that's by the point you get airbending, you got monsters from the spirit world who are honestly about as frightening as they are in the TV show incarnation. The final boss, not to get into it, is seriously a Platinum Games boss. It's crazy. He only barely makes sense within the context of the Korra universe. He's very much a Platinum Games boss. Over the top, crazy powers, bizarro final stage dynamics. But it's got some of the signature Platinum stuff like rapid punching, like the barrage of rapid punches, which is awesome the first time you do it to a mecha tank. Never mind when you start doing it to bosses. It's got a little martial arts brawling mini game, quick time events that you sometimes get into. It's got dodging, it's got countering. Both are essential. Countering is the difference between mecha tanks being indestructible and going down like little bitches. You get to ride around on Naga through, which are honestly some of the more annoying parts of the game, but they're still kind of fun. They're just different. The first time you get into one, you're going to be crashing into walls a lot in a comic fashion. They maybe didn't have to make it look so comical when you crash into things and you die. But
but maybe it just helps.
It does help. There is the pro bending mode that gets unlocked after you beat the story game. Seems like that should be multiplayer, and maybe I just haven't seen how to do it, but it isn't. Unless I'm missing something. But you get to it plays like pro bending in the show. You got to push guys back a zone. If you push them back more into their zone by the end of the round, you win. If you knock them all off the stage, you win. It's kind of fun. There's unlockable costumes. There's even a brief moment you play as Giant Spirit Korra. Although, that, in context, it's kind of a weird moment. But,
it's platinum.
If you paid $60 for this game, it's probably be a ripoff. But it's only a $15 game. It's not Bayonetta 1.5, but it's made Bayonetta 0.8.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good.
And there's still a taunt button. And if you do 3 quick dodges in a row, you stop for a second to pose. Just like Bayonetta. Sadly, Korra does not do any sexy belly dancing. But maybe I just haven't found the right button for it.
Also, does Korra really need to do sexy Bella dancing?
No. But I do want somebody to give me some Korra and Bayonetta fan art. Like, I want Korra and Bayonetta palling around fan art. Just because, Platinum Game Solidarity. It'd be cool. Someone get on that. I know that we know artists who listen to this. Doug, get on that.
No, Doug's busy.
Okay,
Doug's
that's true.
Doug's got art to do.
Doug needs to get to work.
But is there anything else?
Probably, although I feel bad about plugging 2 games.
So whatever, I plugged 2 games.
I know you did. That's like why. Okay, just a little brief one for Tales to Tiara 2, which we never officially got Tales to Tiara 1 released in the US. We did get the anime. Mm-hmm. The original game is an H game, and with a strategy game built around it that is honestly plays like Growlander's idiot cousin. That has gotten an English translation. The story is good. The gameplay is bad. But it did get a PS3 re-release that we're probably never going to see in the US since they skipped on to 2. That was a grid-based, turn-based strategy that was legitimately, apparently, really good. Mm-hmm. The anime is pretty good. It's a weird hybrid. It's basically the Roman invasion of Britain with a lot of Welsh mythology and just a smidgen of Arthurian mythology built around it in a high fantasy setting. And that was pretty cool. At least the anime was. Tears Tiara 2 is the Punic Wars with a ton of Phoenician mythology. And your main character's Hannibal. So, who's possessed by the Phoenician god of war. And, instead of palling around with the Welsh god of death, like in the first game, you're palling around with Astarte, who's the Phoenician version of Ishtar, who is also a war goddess. And you're fighting the Roman Empire. Or the Divine Empire, as they're called in the Tears to Tiara game. Because they're pretty much secretly ruled by the angels in heaven, who don't know where God is, but they act like they do, and are generally doing horrible things.
So is this plays more theoretically like the game we never got on the PS3?
Yeah, it's a turn-based strategy game with cute little SD character art. It's a visual novel as well. It's got a lot. There is a lot of dialogue and story between stages. That's probably important to note. If you don't like a game for the story, you can skip that, but this may not be your right game. But there's lots of interesting characters. Besides, that you got freaking Hannibal and, Phoenician war goddess and a apparently magic-using war elephant. You get a boar-riding German tribeswoman,
Psychic tandem war elephant!
Well, the elephant does have magic. The elephant can cast spells. Like, it's under the magic heading. The elephant, and people can ride the elephant, which is sort of cool.
Psychic tandem war elephant!
It pretty much is. I like the elephant. He is actually pretty cool. He's pretty much a required stage deployment because they have a mechanic built around him carrying your stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, and you, like a handful of characters can ride the elephant. I think that number increases as the game goes on because you meet more characters and the elephant makes friends with more characters. And, the gods are actually probably just elves, but that's more speculation on my part right now. But the fairies are weird in Tears to Tiara, so, that's just how they roll.
Yeah.
They sometimes are gods. It's honestly made me look up a lot of information about the associated gods and time period and location. The game is set in Spain, or Hispania, as they're going to call it in the old fashion, but almost all the characters are Phoenician descent. And it's for a game that's a high fantasy game with monsters and creatures and magic and elves and angels and gods and demons. It has a lot of actually did effort into historical research to it. I mean, considering that Assassin's Creed has aliens and super technology, it's arguably about as historically accurate as Assassin's Creed.
There you go.
Which is the real surprising part.
That's fair.
And speaking of going, Doug, go!
Yes.
For my moment of awesome, I think I'm going to pick Mount Fuji.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, Mount Fuji is truly awesome. If you are in Japan and you have the opportunity to go to Mount Fuji, you need to go to Mount Fuji.
I don't know why you wouldn't go to Mount Fuji if you're visiting Japan, but sounds like a good plan anyways.
So you and Barry,
Yes.
Husband du jour, went to Japan
Yes.
for a couple weeks.
We did.
And so, just so people haven't realized this is what happened. That happened.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was awesome and amazing. Had a pretty cool Final Fantasy 14 themed cafe.
Yes.
Perhaps you've heard of it.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Sent us back lots of cool pictures as they were going around.
But also Mount Fuji. So paint us the story.
Okay, so as we first rolled into the Mount Fuji area, we were actually staying around Lake Kawaguchi.
Okay.
Kawaguchiko, sorry. We're staying around Lake Kawaguchiko, which, if you don't know, Mount Fuji is often personified as a lady. Mount Fuji is a lady. She's a beautiful lady. And Kawaguchiko is her mirror. Lake Kawaguchi is supposed to be this amazingly crystal clear, beautiful, reflecting lake that Mount Fuji reflects into. And so we were staying at an osen there. Osen also belong in my moment of awesome.
Okay.
If you ever have the opportunity to go to an osen, I highly recommend that you do. In fact, I lament that we don't have an osen here in my house.
Hot springs, for if you're not,
Well, it's not just a hot springs. In my mind, it's almost kind of like the Japanese way of taking a bath. Like, there was something that felt actually more cleansing about washing yourself outside the boiling hot water, and then going and dunking yourself in the boiling hot water. It was really, really nice, and afterwards you felt really clean and really invigorated by it. It was wonderful.
I just thought there was a probably small, minuscule, but possible chance that people listening to us, someone might not know what an osen is.
Well, but my osen looked out upon Mount Fuji, across the lake, onto a view of Mount Fuji, and it was beautiful. In fact, when I sit and I'm drinking a glass of tea and I'm trying to, soothe my soul and calm down, I am probably for the rest of my life now going to reflect on this moment of sitting in my hotel room at the osen after having freshly come back from the osen, so I'm wearing full kimono, and I'm enjoying a nice warm cup of green tea that's warm in my hands and steaming, and the beautiful image of Mount Fuji in the background as I'm looking out of a tatami room. That is probably going to be my new happy space. And I think it's a moment that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. It's truly a moment of awesome. Like, in the purest word of the sense. Moment and awesome.
Much like Peggle 2.
Yes.
Not like Peggle 2 at all. So tell us more about Mount Fuji.
So as we were coming into the area, it was kind of a cloudy day. And we also didn't get into the area closer to like 3 o'clock, 3:30. And by the time we actually checked in and we dropped off our baggage at the hotel, we were just so hungry. But it was right at that time of day where everything was closed down from lunch and hadn't opened yet for dinner. Mm-hmm. So we just had to get snacks somewhere. We just got snacks at the hotel convenience store. Mm-hmm. And then we went out and we found a place around Kawaguchiko, which there were thousands of hydrangeas. We were there in right as September was turning into October. Mm-hmm. So it was not the peak season to see. Like, the peak season is actually in August to see all the hydrangeas that bloom around Kawaguchiko.
Right.
But they were still lingering there, and so it was still really beautiful and just full of flowers as we sat there. But we were looking up at the sky, in this cloudy, cloudy sky, and we were looking at all the mountains around us. We were trying to figure out now which one of these is Mount Fuji. And we had eventually picked on this one mountain that we decided must be Mount Fuji. It looks to us to be the tallest. And it's in the east, which we know... No, it's not in the east. It's in the west, which we know was where Mount Fuji was. And we watched the sun set right behind it. And we thought, yes, that's a beautiful image of Mount Fuji with the sun setting behind it, across the lake. Well, then we went to bed, and when we woke... Well, then other stuff happened. We went and we had yakiniku for the first time.
Cool.
And it was delicious.
And yakiniku is, for those who don't know...
You probably in anime will see it translated a lot as Korean barbecue. It's basically they bring you raw pieces of meat, and the table has a fireplace in it, and you grill it right there in front of you.
Gotcha.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was delicious. We met a Dutch couple that we ended up having dinner with because we were both white.
Right.
That sounds really racist, but when you're in a country full of Japanese people
Foreign devils,
and you are white, it's a little bit of a relief to see someone your own ethnicity.
Who've gotten some little oni horns to wear around Japan. They're like, foreign devil!
Well, and we sat, we talked, and that was a great evening. We came back, I went to the Osen that night, had tea. It was a wonderful experience. And then we woke up the next morning. And the clouds had cleared for that day. They came right back the next day after that. But that day, they cleared. And we just looked out our window, and suddenly we felt so dumb for having questioned which mountain was Mount Fuji. Because there was no question which mountain was Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji was so big that we simply hadn't counted it as a mountain. We thought it was just part of the sky.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was huge. Like, and it took up practically the whole western side. Like, the fact that we picked out this one, that was a foothill. Mount Fuji was not snow-capped, but again, we were right at the end of hiking season. I sadly didn't get to hike Mount Fuji itself because we were about a week and a half too late coming into Japan in order to hike it, but so while there wasn't ice-capped, it was right at the time of year where the ice is beginning to form again. Mm-hmm. So, we didn't get to actually see the ice cap. But, just going on. We did, however, go to the Usagi Shrine.
Oh?
There is, in the Lake Kawaguchiko area, there's actually in Japan, it's a fairly famous shrine. It's the Usagi Shrine. It's the shrine to the rabbit. And it goes up one of the higher mountains that's around Kawaguchi. And there is the shrine to the rabbit that's up there. They've kind of made it into a little bit of a themed tourist attraction, but if you hike further on, and that's when I actually hiked to the top of that mountain that was right there. I can't remember what that mountain was called, but you can hike further on up the mountain past where the tourist shrine is, and there's another sacred shrine that's up there right at the top, and when you turn and look, it has the most gorgeous view of Mount Fuji that there is. Mount Fuji is so tall that even though this was a relatively cloudless day, there were still little wispy clouds. Mm-hmm. If the cloud was unfortunate enough to hit Mount Fuji as it traversed the sky, a small cloud would get hit by Mount Fuji, and as it got pushed up by the winds coming up behind it, you would see it start to roll into a ball. And so you would see these clouds come up to Mount Fuji in one shape, get pushed up the mountain, and come out a completely different shape.
Wow.
Like, it was impressive. And, they had all those Mount Fuji stuff around there, they had this ice cream. It was in English labeled as Mount Fuji ice cream. I don't know what it was called in Japanese. Most things in the area had Japanese and English labels. But the Mount Fuji ice cream, was blue and white ice cream. The blue was was a flavor called, Blue Rose, and I have no idea what Blue Rose flavor is supposed to taste like. All I know is that it's delicious. I have nothing I can compare it to for you. It was so good, but I get maybe sea salt ice cream. I don't know. It was really, really good.
Made from real blue roses.
Well, it was called Blue Rose ice cream, and it was good. But then on top of that, they would put a dollop of vanilla, so it would look like a little mountain with a snow cap, and it was adorable.
That's cute.
Oh, let's see. Yes, at the shrine to the rabbit. Okay, here's the story of the rabbit and the tanuki that this shrine is dedicated to.
Okay.
To the best of my ability to repeat this story.
Okay.
In fact, hold on, let me read you the children's book.
All right.
Hi, Bruce.
I guess. Do some dun 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 dun. Sort of kind of music while we're waiting for this.
The rabbit tanuki.
Now keep in mind, I cannot read Japanese, so I don't actually know what this book says. I'm going to be making educated guesses.
I think it's a story about a sociopathic pyromaniac bunny rabbit.
Okay. The story goes, as best I can tell, that there was this greedy tanuki, and he was stealing the old man farmer's crops. He was eating the old farmer's crops, and the tanuki was stealing his crops and laughing at the farmer. The farmer would be like, "Hey, don't steal my crops," and the tanuki would be like, "Ha, I'll take them because I can," or something to that effect.
That's what they do.
So the farmer set a clever trap for the tanuki, and he caught the tanuki in his trap. And the farmer took the tanuki home to his wife so that she could make a stew out of him. And as the wife was cooking rice and things, the tanuki cried because he didn't want to be eaten. And so the tanuki begged, tears, "Please don't kill me, I don't want to be eaten." While the old woman was mashing up the rice to make mochi. But the old woman, as she was mashing up the rice to make mochi, heard the tanuki's cries, and she took pity on him. So she let him down to set him free. So the tanuki apparently grabs a stick and bashes the old lady in the head.
What?
Shocking.
I know, right?
For kids.
I know, already I thought the story was going to be over. I thought the tanuki had learned his lesson, but no! He walloped the old lady again with a stick! Okay, so when the old man came home, the rabbit had been helping him harvest things from the forest, and they saw his wife had been beaten and their dinner had been stolen. And the rabbit said, "Don't worry, I'm going to teach that tanuki a lesson. I'll make sure he pays." And so the rabbit lures the tanuki out with cooked rice dumplings, which they sold rice dumplings at this shrine.
Product tie-in.
They were actually, they're called tanuki snacks. I have a feeling the shrine sells them because they're a part of the story, not the other way around. And those dumplings, me and Barry did not care for them. We tried them because...
Yeah. You were there, but...
Yeah, but they tasted like very, very, very doughy dumplings because, the dumpling part is just rice paste that's been cooked over a fire.
Right.
And then the sauce that's on them is basically sugared soy sauce. So to my Western palate, it was not that great.
But to this tanuki,
But to this tanuki, oh man, this was delicious. So as the rabbit was cooking these treats, the tanuki came out, and he stole all the treats from the rabbit, and also stole the pile of wood, the pile of sticks that the rabbit had been gathering. And so as they were walking along, the rabbit followed behind the tanuki with a pair of flint rocks. And every time the crow cawed, the rabbit would bang the sticks together. Until eventually, the pile of sticks on the tanuki's back caught fire. And the tanuki and the sticks on the bundle of sticks on the tanuki's back caught fire, and they burned as the tanuki ran all around with this burning pile of sticks tied to his back.
And of course, it's running, so it's getting more oxygen, which is therefore creating more fire.
Yes. And as the rabbit comes up, and as the tanuki finally manages to get free of the fire, he sees the rabbit come up, and he asks the rabbit for help with his pain, with his wounds, and the rabbit says, I have an ointment that will be great for that. And so he smears this ointment all over the tanuki's back, and it's hot chili pepper sauce.
Because
Watership Down taught us rabbits are sadistic bastards.
And his story's telling us that tanukis are assholes. So, I guess they're best friends now, huh?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, the thing is that chili pepper sauce is actually somewhat antibacterial, so there is some method to the madness.
It's gonna hurt.
It just hurt a lot. But he patched the tanuki up and set the tanuki up to rest. And as the tanuki was recovering, the rabbit took the tanuki out to sea. And in this picture book, I think the tanuki is picking a better boat than the rabbit, but I'm not really clear on that. There wasn't a statue at the place explaining it to me about this part. But so evidently the rabbit takes the tanuki fishing. But the tanuki still hasn't learned his lesson yet, so he's fishing way more fish than he actually needs.
Right.
So his boat breaks, and he falls into the water. And the fish bite him and are being mean to him. And so the rabbit smacks the fish off and also smacks the tanuki. And finally, after the tanuki promises to be a good person, the rabbit saves the tanuki. And now they all get to be friends because the tanuki has learned the true meaning of the rabbit's humility. So this is apparently a very popular Japanese children's story.
Yes.
The location had many, many statues of the rabbit and tanuki explaining the story.
Rabbits and tanuki.
Yeah. You could take a little tram up about halfway up the mountain to where the initial touristy spot of the shrine is. And, on one of the rides up, it was the rabbit. On the other one was the tanuki. In Japanese, the little, story explaining,
right.
The ride was done by the rabbit and the tanuki.
Honestly, the story actually does give, new insights into the eccentric family.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so apparently this is a pretty common and well-known Japanese folktale that gets told, we tell Cinderella, I guess.
Excellent.
I read it to my niece, and as we were reading it to him, my brother-in-law just commented, this sounded like it was going to be a normal fable, and then right when I thought it was going to end, nope, 5 levels of retribution. So, but that's the story of the Usagi Shrine. At the Usagi Shrine, you can pray to the rabbit. They have 2 statues of the rabbit. One, if you rub its head, will give you sharp intellect. The other will give you fast legs. Barry rubbed the one for fast intellect. I rubbed the one for fast legs. You know, they also have a bell that if you ring it while looking at Mount Fuji, your wish will come true. You know, all sorts of that kind of stuff. And it was, in general, awesome. The most awesome moment, though, really was just at my hotel room, just looking out.
At Mount Fuji?
Mm-hmm. Like, as the sun was setting on that clear day, that's a moment that has just touched me forever. And I hope everybody gets the chance to go to Japan and to see Mount Fuji.
And if you don't, we all still have Peggle too. So with that, Moments of Awesome completed. And now we're going to take another break. We're going to come back with questions from people from the internet like you. This is the OSMcast. We got a Basil, because this is the OSMcast, and we've got questions from internet people like you.
So who's questioning us?
First is Ruby Programming at Passion Tentacle. Big PT.
How dare he question us?
She, don't judge.
Well, how dare she question us?
Who's the best Love Live? Gerald Rathgold of the Anime World Order podcast.
I think it's Daryl Surratt of Anime World Order podcast.
I still think it's Charlie.
All right. Of the Chains of a Fae podcast.
That's right.
I have to say I have no clue about anything about Love Live, just to be
I don't actually
answer.
know what that question means.
Although a lot of people seem to be talking about it, maybe there's something to it, and I just missed it.
Did that happen while I was in Japan?
It's I think they did there's a 13 episode anime series. It was in like between January and March of last year.
Oh.
I think there's also an Android and iOS game that's out now that people are playing.
That makes sense, because I think I've seen screenshots of that being posted around.
But I haven't played it, so
sadly we know nothing about this.
But even if I played it, I'm going to stand by. It's Gerald Rathgold, because he's my waifu. I don't need no bot on Twitter to tell me who my waifu is. I know it's Gerald. So, from Chad Bonin, at Chad Bonin, how awkward will Shuriken Sentai word to be pronounced?
The fuck?
Alright, Kevin, you're the Sentai guy.
Where
it says where it's Chad Bonin.
I think we're partially answering this question right now by Basil's inability
How
to pronounce
awkward
it.
will Shuriken Sentai Ninja be to pronounce? Boy, I feel like I'm probably... That sounds like it's probably the next Sentai show title. I'm actually guessing on this because, boy, I haven't been watching the current Sentai either. I feel bad, but it's been all Kamen Rider all the time. Last couple Sentai series were stupid.
God, you guys are losing your nerd cred.
I know, right? Sadly, I don't actually know that the current Kamen Rider is actually bad. It's just it's not Gaim, so I'm kind of having a hard time keeping interested in it. But maybe I'll pick up once I get over it not being Gaim. But yeah, I haven't been following Sentai at all, hardly. Gokaiger ruined it for me. Gokaiger was best Sentai, and now I'm getting bored with them really quick because they're not pirates and awesome past series references.
Alright, well, from Nico.
Sounds awkward to pronounce.
At Nico Scream. Gundam Build Fighter? Like Nico. We know. We understand.
I'm sorry we got sick. It was totally supposed to happen.
It's still going to happen. Honestly, my original plan was to figure out some time this weekend. But then I realized that A, I'm working pretty much all of it. B, it's also the weekend of GMX, and I'm really sad I wasn't there.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to GMX.
But
I always have a great time.
You're busy at GMX.
He is busy
While
at GMX.
I am stuck at work during when this would be happening, So I can't record it this week, but hopefully sometime next week we'll see what happens. Like, we'll be in touch. It's not we don't know each other.
There will be a Gundam Build Fighters podcast.
Y'all need to do that soon, because y'all were talking about Gundam Build Fighters on the way back from dinner. Like, I know that's something y'all are really wanting to talk about.
Yeah, the second season has just started up, and it's amazing. The first season was amazing. They're fighters, they are built, they are Gundams. It's cool.
And other things that I am excited for, and Nico also asks, who's excited about MTAC in 2015?
I am!
I'm also excited.
Like,
Kevin won't give a crap, but he's a jerk Tanuki face, so...
Well,
I'm excited.
I really like, I really like Hamicon, but we do a lot of we do a lot of stuff for Hamicon, so I can't really say that Hamicon's my favorite because that's disingenuous.
Well, yeah. We kind of have a lot of fingers in that pie.
I have a lot of fingers in Hamicon.
Yeah.
But my favorite convention that I am not actively involved in is probably going to be the MTAC. The MTAC GMX pair.
Always a good time. We know a lot of the people there.
And we always have a great time there. And this year's going to be interesting. They're actually in 2 hotels.
Oh, okay.
They're back at the Sheraton, Music City, where they were a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then they also have a Marriott that's down the road.
Okay.
And it's like a 15-minute walk, but they've got a shuttle system that's going to be ferrying people.
Will be interesting.
The trick is they've got a ton of shuttles.
Yeah.
And they're using a road that's more or less just used between the 2 places. And so there should be pretty much nonstop going to's and fro's.
Boy.
Oh, it can be like the Japan train system.
So
I just hope nobody gets stuck with a panel in one hotel and realize they have to do another panel in the next hotel with like only a few minutes in between.
Well,
or something stupid like that. But hopefully, I'm sure they've put more thought into this than I have.
just recently they released a video explaining the whole thing, and they've also announced a bunch of guests. They've announced some J. Michael Tatum guy. Of course, they've got Martin Billany and Marina Miller. Now I have Matt Mercer, because I'm sure Troy Baker's too expensive.
Yeah.
And Matt Mercer, he's also done plenty of stuff on his own. He just sounds a lot like Troy Baker. They just have very similar vocal patterns. And so there's a lot of times where I'll hear something and go, that sounds like... No, that's Matt Mercer. No, that's Troy Baker. For example, he was Alvin in Tales of Zillia. Who, Alvin, if you haven't played Tales of Zillia, he's the closest thing they've gotten to yet a Raven-esque character who's not Raven.
Oh,
like,
you need to finish that so that you can give your system in the game to me. And
that also means I need to play Final Fantasy XIV less, and that's always proven hard. Like, there are several times where I'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV. I'm more or less done as much as I can be for right now. I should just play Tales, and then you and Letho or Flo or somebody else will go, let's role play, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Sucker.
So, but anyways, he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, he's Captain Levi in Attack on Titan. He's like, they haven't announced it like officially, either he's on the website, so I don't feel bad, spilling the beans that, they haven't really talked about it, but a certain voice actor named Micah Solasad is going to be at MTAC this next year, which we're pretty big Micah Solasad fans.
Yeah, we are. He's a cool guy.
Honestly, I really can't see fans. We're more friends. Like, he is... If there's any person who's, like, remotely, like, important, like a voice actor or something that's a friend of the show...
Yeah, it's Micah.
It's Micah.
We tricked him to come to our con, and ever since, he's
also, people who've been at Hamicon before that's at MTech, Tiffany Grant.
Oh, cool.
So, it's...
Tiffany Grant's always fun. She knows where the bodies are buried, and she doesn't care if she tells anyone.
And there's going to be some excellent panels at MTech. Excellent panels you should totally go see.
Are you doing any of them?
Well, the finishing is like as soon as I submit them.
Oh, I see.
Like that was the finishing was as soon as I submit them. And I don't think it's just going to be me. I think we're all going to, because the actual panels we ran as a duo anyway all went really well.
Okay.
And so I think doing less basal panels, more awesome cast as were panels.
Okay.
Was definitely enjoyable for me, and so I'm looking to do that again at MTAC.
I supply quips and the occasional fact check.
That's right. It works that well. So yes, we are all very excited for MTAC 15 to life. Mr. Shadow Emperor Nicholas, I'm in charge of MTAC now, Qualls.
Hail Niktra!
Words. Hail Niktra,
Hail
indeed.
Niktra!
So, from Josh Mull at PV Politic with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Question. I like the American anime greatest hits. Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Vampire D, etc. What's new that I should check out? Bonus points if it's already on Netflix.
Attack on Titan.
Like, Attack on Titan is the easiest one.
Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill.
I would actually say Psycho-Pass.
Psycho-Pass is on there now, isn't it?
That would be really good. Another show that isn't quite in that vein, but I feel that everyone should at least give it a shot, is Hunter x Hunter, which is now on Netflix.
Yeah, I have to agree. Hunter x Hunter is actually more in the... it's more in your classic It's more in your classic Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's shonen.
Yeah,
like it's
a shonen fighting anime, but
it's way smarter than...
Yeah, it's smarter than your average shonen fighting anime.
But I feel that everyone should give it a shot. And then two other shows that honestly could have been moments of awesome. But we talked about other things, and I didn't mind it because I'm going to talk about them here.
Yeah.
Is there is a studio, or there's a man. I start off, there is a man named Masaya Maruyama. He founded a studio, or helped found a studio, called Madhouse.
Yeah.
Did a ton of stuff, including stuff like Vampire D. And, or Wicked City, lots of...
Demon City Shinjuku.
And at some point, he felt he wasn't really be able to do the things he wanted to, and so he decided to strike off on his own and form a whole brand new studio that's actually called the Maruyama Animation Produce Project Association, which is shortened to MAPPA.
MAPPA does not screw around.
MAPPA does not screw around. There are two shows, and I think it's either via Funimation's website or a week later on Hulu. But the two shows I would recommend are Rage of Bahamut Genesis and Garo the Animation.
Yeah, you actually made me watch those two shows just tonight, so I'm fresh having seen them, and they're two kind of old school fantasy things. And I gotta tell you, as a fantasy fan, I have been hankering for something like this for a long time. There were several times as I was watching Garo that I was sitting there going, did they make this just for me? Just because I like badass men that are actually men.
Garo is interesting because Garo the Animation, because Garo is a Japanese live-action special effects show aimed at adults. With kind of a modern urban fantasy setting, with guys who transform into magical wolf armor and fight monsters and possess humans. Garo the Animation is a distant prequel set in, during the Spanish Inquisition with manly men with chest hair.
Can I make a random comment / observation about my time in Japan?
Go for it.
While I was in Japan, when we got to the hotel rooms, after our flight, it was 7 o'clock at night. We, too late to go do anything, too early to actually sleep. We turned on the TV and we started to watch TV, and we were expecting it to be anime and game shows and talk shows. That's what we were expecting. We were expecting, the kooky Japanese talk shows. We didn't find that many. We were expecting the kooky Japanese game shows. At that particular hour, none were on. We were expecting to find just tons of anime. There was clearly an anime channel, but that was about it. Mostly it was sports. We were actually really surprised, and continually, as we traveled around, when we went to Kyoto, and we were tired from running everywhere and climbing mountains and things, and we came back to the room, and it was still early, and we watched TV, again, we saw the same thing happen over and over again. Even the number of Japanese dramas was somewhat low compared to what I was expecting. I was really surprised by the number of sports that was available. And maybe this was just because we were watching it through hotel access.
Possibly, and I think if you want anime, you either need to be pretty early in the morning or pretty late at night.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Early in the morning, we weren't really watching anime, and by late at night, we were dead asleep.
From what little I've paid attention to what times they actually air in Japan, that tends to either be pretty early or pretty late or Sundays.
Well, a couple of times we watched at like the 3 o'clock time slot, like, what we would think would be the after school time slot, and really nothing. It really did surprise us just how prevalent sports was in Japan. So I just want to put that out there, that even the Japanese don't watch as much anime as you think. Although the Japanese are certainly not afraid of making up anime mascots for every little thing.
No.
Right.
What?
But Garo is really good. And Rage of Bahamut
shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be good. It should have been terrible. It should have been
It was wonderful.
It's brilliant.
It's a cell phone collectible card game tie-in anime. Just, it's being animated by Mappa, who does not screw around, and it's got the director of Tiger and Bunny. So it's amazing.
So, Rage Bahamut was one of the first major Japanese energy pay-to-win card games that apparently, supposedly, seems to be, one might even say...
Ostensibly?
Perhapsably. Now I'm just making up words.
Yes. I know.
Anyways, it was one of those post trials for how to do it just to make the monies. Mm-hmm. Whereas Terra Battles obviously come from many years of those existing, and now they know how to use those same things, but actually put a real game in there. But Rage of Bahamut, if you look for Android for years, it was the most grossing Android app around.
Yeah, Barry has even played it.
Yeah. He's a sucker for those kinds of games because, he gets bored and he's got tons of things he can do on his phone or iPad.
He's even able to confirm that several of the characters are, in fact, cards from the game.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard those things, too.
Yeah.
Because everyone else I know is watching this thing. What this actually is a super fun, high-adventure fantasy romp. With,
very high fantasy, very Dungeons and Dragons-like.
With super high production values. Mm-hmm. Side games or C games, or how you pronounce the studio that makes the game. They've got money. And they obviously decided, you know what? Let's just spend lots of money, hire the studio, let them do what they want with our cards, and make something. And Mappa was like, you're giving us how much money? Okay. Sure. We'll make a cartoon for you. No problem. And man, they spent at least 5 minutes on just a spectacular, one of the best dance sequences of just a couple dancing in and in that I've seen in forever.
I've seen a couple of dance sequences in anime fairly recently, and none of them were as well choreographed or well animated
nice,
as
high
that.
energy kind of Spanish music to it,
They start one of the first scenes of this show are two guys fighting on a frickin' thing.
Mill wheel,
that's what I'm thinking.
Water wheel kind
Water
of
wheel, mill wheel that they've unlatched and it's rolling downtown while they're fighting on it.
Very Pirates of the Caribbean, except they have actually done it better.
And so, those two shows, Rage of Bahamut Genesis and Garo, are actually the two shows I want to tell you, but they're not on Netflix. So instead, I'm going to tell you Attack on Titan, which I'm sure everyone has heard about. If not, you'll find out real fast. Also, Psycho Pass, which should feed that Ghost in the Shell cyberpunk vibe pretty well.
I just, I don't know, maybe not your style, but I cannot help but recommend Kill la Kill and maybe even Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Although that definitely may not be everyone's cup of tea.
But yeah, I like both those shows. I like Kill la Kill a lot. Certainly, also, it might still be on Netflix Redline. Redline is
oh my
always...
god, watch Redline.
Which, I mean,
Actually,
that house...
just try to watch Redline, actually. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore.
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are.
I actually don't think it's on
watch
Netflix anymore.
Redline. Just do it.
But they do have Samurai Flamenco, which is probably not something to be recommended for this discussion, but it's awesome anyway.
But I would also... We have done several podcasts, on Redline, on Kill la Kill, on Samurai Flamenco. Chances are, if they keep up, we'll be doing one probably on Rage Obama, Genesis, and Garo. So, there you go.
Maybe we can do the double Mappa Spanish Fantasy Power Hour.
From Sir Jack-O-Lantern, or Impassionate K, like a lot of people are also doing Halloween-esque things.
Little Halloween-themed names.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Bandai Visual. Bandai Visual, it's people who overprice their stuff.
I know,
It's the most horrific thing ever.
Oh,
Overpriced
okay,
anime.
I get it, okay.
Yes.
There are also people who've screwed over Gundam every time it's tried to come out in the US.
I didn't understand it at first. I now get your political joke.
Except now Right Stuff is getting to bring out Gundam, and it's going to be amazing.
Hopefully. Hopefully it's priced well.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet.
Well, it's Right Stuff. They don't usually screw us.
Usually. Who knows? Anyways, this question. How awesome is Gundam Build Fighters and Try?
They're going to do a podcast about it already, guys.
We will.
It will be discussed.
I'm highly biased, but incredibly awesome.
It is so awesome. We're going to do a podcast about it. That's how awesome. It's like monthly Girls Nozaki-kun awesome.
Oh my god, the anime is so good.
That's a podcast.
And Gundam Build Fighters Try, at least just based on 4 episodes, is possibly more awesome and has 350% more G Gundam and counting.
Now, his next question, and our final question of the evening, so we're going to have to dig in deep, folks. Gotta dig in deep, really, really get into this.
Okay.
Who will win the World Series?
I will.
Lies. Because you're neither a San Francisco Giant nor a Kansas City Royal.
Doesn't matter. I'll still win it. You know why? I'll be doing something else.
I think the Hanshin Tigers will win this year. The Hanshin Tigers, all the way.
I am ostensibly not very happy with that answer.
Or the Giants that are the Japanese ones.
Don't seem to care much.
I like baseball. Now, that said, I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm used to defeat. But I like baseball.
I know 3 baseball teams' names, and 2 of them are Japanese, and 1 of those are fictional.
I liked playing baseball when I was a kid. But I really just can't stand watching a sports game. I would really rather be playing it.
Baseball is one of those things that it's kind of... The trick of baseball is there is, in fact, so much mind play you don't even realize what's going on that you can't get from just watching it.
Yeah. Because
there's a lot of interplay on what the catcher is communicating to the pitcher, what the pitcher's actually doing. Can the pitcher actually do what the catcher's wanting? Is he going to actually do what the catcher wants?
Now, if you're actually at a game and you actually have good seats, or should I say, if you're ostensibly at a game and you ostensibly have good seats.
We really...
Okay, ostensibly we're leaving the word ostensibly out. But anyways, you're saying...
So if you're really there at the game and you have good seats, because I also feel that right now we're building our stadiums too big that it's entirely possible to not have good seats. It's entirely possible for entire stadiums to have no good seats. You're too far away to see what's actually going on and actually be a part of the game. But I really do enjoy going to a baseball game or a football game or what have you, but I just can't get into it on TV. I just cannot get into it on TV.
It is immediately one of my favorite things to have in the background.
Ugh.
I don't mind loading up a stream of a baseball game, playing Final Fantasy or doing something else. And I can turn my head, see a neat play, maybe catch the recap. To answer the question, I'm rooting for the Giants. The other love of my life, Ed Chavez. from Vertical. I'm number one Ed Chavez fan. I don't care what anyone says. I'm better fan than you are. Got a tattoo. I don't have a tattoo. That's a lie. But I know he's a Giants fan. He's from San Francisco. So, in his honor, I'm rooting for the Giants.
I have to root for the Giants on behalf of Ed Chavez as well. He is the real world Ron Barral.
It's true. Even though they apparently totally punked the Royals in the last game, and then this game tonight, they apparently just got punked while we were recording. So, that's sad.
Sadly, I'm not that much into professional sports or even college level sports. Watching on TV.
Major League Baseball in particular.
Oh, crap. Hold on. No, shut up. Edit that out.
Major League Baseball in particular is just... It's strikingly horrible. What they've done to a game that should be somewhat pure and wholesome in its concept, like in the idea of sport, in the idea of people coming together to cheer for athletes just winning a simple game. That should be a relatively idealistic state, and Major League Baseball is particularly bad about how the industry itself has been corrupted, and so I find it really hard to root for any team in Major League Baseball.
At this point, I don't think it's any better or worse than the NFL or the
Well,
NBA.
The NFL is definitely getting there. I don't care enough about any of them to really get into specifics or to really, debate over who's worse. I just know that Major League Baseball led the way. And so if the NFL is catching up to Major League Baseball in its deplorable corruption, then that's all it's doing, is it's catching up to where MLB was.
Right. It might have, at this point, possibly exceeded, just because it's now, honestly, the bigger sport.
Well, it's gone a different way, in my opinion. It's still going bad downhill, but it's still going.
But I will like whatever baseball team plays baseball on giant robots. Worked for basketball and basketball.
Yeah, but yet you still don't watch the basketball which Kuroko's plays.
No, because Kuroko doesn't have a giant robot.
You don't know that. You don't watch the show.
Kevin, I have to tell you a secret. It does.
I don't believe you.
Why do you not believe me?
What if I told you that the San Francisco Giants had a giant robot right now? And they're not going to use it to save our planet. Because you don't believe.
No, Kevin, I'm telling you. It's in there. It doesn't come up a lot. I don't know why you're not believing me.
I just have a feeling I would have heard about this.
Why? Why in this show that is heavily character-driven would you have heard about this?
Because even Mecha Naruto gets mentioned on the Mecha board of Fortune.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I'm surprised they haven't mentioned it.
Because it's totally there.
But it is.
I somehow feel this is not.
I actually feel like the moment, last night when we were going into what's that place called? The Lost City of Emmett Keep, and there's this one boss fight, and the guy we were walking through said, "Haha, so I bet in this fight I get eaten, right? LOL." And then me and Basil go, "Yeah, you're probably gonna get eaten. And when that happens, we're gonna break you out of the monster's belly as quick as you can. So you need to recover." And then he paused. And was like, "Wait, you mean I'm really gonna get eaten?" And we were like, "Yes, you're really going to get eaten." And then we started the fight. And about halfway through the fight, he fucking got eaten. And then he looked at us and he said, "Shit, I really got eaten."
These were also the fights where we discovered that I have been slowly but surely working on raising my gear stuff. And it turns out when I wasn't paying attention, I had geared everybody else.
Yeah.
And now it's actually a lot of work to stop from taking too much, aggro off the mob so the tank can't do its thing.
Yeah.
But, so in the end, the Giants are going to win.
Or you're going to get eaten.
Or you're going to get eaten. And now Kevin's going to have to watch all of Kuroko's basketball. Yay!
I still disbelieve your assertion of the presence of a giant robot.
Take a dog.
So Kevin's got a consolation prize of a dog. He's going to leave it here. But with that, we are the OSMcast. I've been Basil.
I'm Kevin.
And I have been Douglas.
And that's us. Again, you can find us at awesomecast.com, OSMcast.com. You can also find us on social medias, Twitters, Tumblrs, Facebooks, all OSMcast. You can leave us comments on individual episodes. You can send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com or send us messages or posts on the various social networks that we are on. You can also find myself on Twitter at It's Basil Time. You can find Kevin at Twitless_Kevin. You can find Doug only if you're an asshole corporation. Then Doug will find you.
Hey, Basil, can I ask you, why are you still pimping my Twitter,
Because I've got one that I actively use. Kevin's got one he kind of uses. And we're a trio. So...
Yeah, but you were just leaving it out when you didn't think I had one. So just leave it out.
But now I know too much.
I know, and if you keep promoting it, I'm going to have to kill you. And I
You
don't want to do that, Basil.
Could just say you can find Douglas on Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, I'm on Final Fantasy XIV. You can find me there.
I really like the idea that corporations have to really look out. Because they don't...
They do. They do. And the problem is, you're warning them.
Well, maybe because you're...
Do you feel sorry for these dick corporations who are assholes to people?
No, I just don't...
Then why are you giving them a heads up of what's coming? Let it strike. Let it strike in the darkness of the night when they're not expecting it.
Because either they are expecting it won't help them.
It won't.
Like, maybe
really
now maybe they'll be staying up all night.
Waiting.
Looking outside, wondering when you'll strike. And then you're like, wait, no, it didn't strike. Wait, no, I think I heard something. No. See, now they're quaking in their booties.
Fair enough.
Because now they don't know when you'll strike.
True, but I will. On Twitter.
They dangerous.
May not know where, but they know. No, they may not know when, but they now know where.
On Twitter. But we're on Twitter at OSMcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. We're out.
God, Kevin's got a goat hand.
Oh, God damn it. Alright, sorry folks, no Gundam build fighters. I had to put Kevin down. That's going to be sad.
The goat got into my hand, and it went bad.
Also, Anna says hi, everybody.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
She's hoping everything's going well. And it is. And we love you all. Goodbye, and we're out.